It's Friday, May 29th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices decreased quite a bit overnight for most. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And it's telethon weekend. The IWK Telethon for Children is back for its 42nd year, and we share an inspirational patient story in our 7 o'clock hour.
Plus, the World Cup is coming. I join the show for today and talk about FIFA and what it means for Canadians. All that and so much more coming up on the Friday edition of CTV's Your Morning Atlantic.
Come on in. It's nice and warm in here. Almost 6, there it is, 6:01 on this Friday, May 29th. Oh my goodness, if you haven't gone outside yet, let me just prepare you. It's probably colder than you expected. Yes. I was shocked. I wore the mittens this morning when I took the dogs out for the little walk, and they were very happy to get back inside the house. How did you find the weather this morning?
So I pre-planned, and I parked underground last night, so that when I got up this morning, I was just good to go.
Oh, that's smart.
You were good to go. Listen, who is bringing the sunshine this morning is Brianne Foley in for Latavia this morning. It is good to see you.
Yeah, great to have you here.
Always happy to be here.
And you'll be doing a FIFA interview a little bit later on because you're friends with Matt from TSN.
Yes,
so that's fun.
Matthew Shinetti. He's down actually in North Carolina. He's been there with the training camp all week, and he's actually been doing some behind-the-scenes stuff on his social media. If you want to know what happens behind the scenes of such a great event, so it's kind of cool.
I love that. Yeah, okay, so let's give people what they need to know to start their day, Brianne, weather-wise.
Well, it's not going to be North Carolina weather here. So as we take a look at Moncton this morning, it's going to be a much colder start, like Crystal was saying, to your day. So just make sure you are taking that into account. Again, we're seeing below seasonal type temperatures at this time. Yes, as we take a look here at our current temperatures, very cold to start the day. 3 degrees in Sydney, 4 in Charlotte and Halifax, 5 degrees in Moncton and Edmundston. We're looking at 6 degrees over in Bathurst and Fredericton, 0 degrees up in Nain. So again, a colder start to the day. As we take a look at our winds, those winds are going to be changing directions a little bit later. We're going to see those winds gusting north. For the most part, we will see a little bit of those northeast winds coming through and picking up a little bit, roughly up to 40 kilometers per hour as we take a look at the current wind gusts, of course, a little bit more gusty over in the Ganso area as well as into Sydney. And we will see some precipitation hanging around throughout much of the region for today, but I will have a full look at that forecast coming up in just a little bit. For now, let's go over to Amanda for your first look at news headlines.
Thank you, Brianne. Some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices decreased overnight for most. In Nova Scotia Zone 1, gas fell by 7.2 cents. The minimum price now $1.78.4 a litre. And diesel dropped by 12.1 cents. The minimum price now $2.06. In Prince Edward Island, gas fell for a third time this week, now by 6.4 cents. The minimum price $1.85 a litre. And diesel on the island decreased by 6.4 cents. The minimum price $2.19.5. Now to the only increase on the board. Gas in New Brunswick is up slightly, increasing by 1.6 cents. The maximum price now $1.87.6. This comes after a decrease yesterday. Meantime, diesel, it fell in New Brunswick by 2.3 cents. The maximum price now $2.33.8 a litre. While it is some relief, according to experts, this relief at the pumps will be short-lived.
Considering the world is short about 20% of what it needs to make ends meet, and we're using emergency supplies just to finish the day and to make sure our economies run well, we're looking at a scenario where it's going to require much higher prices to, as it were, dampen demand in order for supply to catch up.
Dan McTeague predicts the pump prices will push back towards $2 as early as next week. Nova Scotians will also be paying more for gas soon, but it has nothing to do with the war in Iran. The Energy Board has approved a 1.7 cent a liter increase to both gas and diesel to give retailers more revenue. Turns out more motorists are using credit cards to fill their tanks, which means higher fees for the gas stations. They will now get a minimum 7.1 cents per liter to pocket. The mother of the newborn baby whose body was discovered in Halifax Sunday has herself died in hospital. Her death and her baby's are both being investigated by the medical examiner.
They will determine the manner and cause of death. However, both of those investigations will take an extended period of time.
Police admit they were never able to speak to the 23-year-old woman who died in hospital Wednesday after being taken in by paramedics Friday night in what police called life-threatening condition not connected to violence. An urgent search for the newborn began when the woman showed up at hospital with no baby to be found. The baby's remains were found in the woods off Old Coach Road on Sunday. 2 people charged in the case have agreed to return to court in June to enter pleas on 4 charges, including concealing the body of a child and causing an indignity to human remains. Nova Scotia's medical examiner has also ruled a suspicious death in Antigonish County as a homicide. RCMP located the deceased 42-year-old man on Arthur's Point Lane in West Arm Tracadie last week. Investigators believe this was a targeted incident and there's no risk to public safety. No arrests have been made yet. A dangerous offender who went to prison in 2011 for kidnapping, confining, and sexually assaulting a woman in Moncton has been granted release from prison. 15 years ago, Romeo Cormier was convicted of kidnapping a woman at knife point and holding her in his apartment for nearly a month until she escaped. The woman, whose identity was protected by a publication ban, testified Cormier grabbed her at knife point in February 2010 outside the former Highfield Square Mall where she worked.
I really feel that Mom is a really strong person, and her attitude was that she wasn't going to let Romeo Cormier continue making her a victim.
Parole Board of Canada documents state the now 78-year-old's case was reviewed on May 12th. He was granted statutory release with several special conditions, including not having any contact with the victim of members of her family. It looks like it is back to square one in that ongoing long-term care strike in Nova Scotia. As we told you here yesterday, scheduled talks broke off less than 4 hours after they started earlier this week. The lack of progress is deeply worrisome to those with loved ones in those facilities. CTV News did reach out to Minister Barbara Adams' office for comment, but did not hear back by news time. The government has repeatedly pushed the union to present its offer to membership for a vote. Finally, Pope Leo got a close-up look at Ferrari's first all-electric car this week. The Pope is a car enthusiast and inspected the new Luce model with Ferrari's chairman, company executives, and engineers. They donated the steering wheel to Leo as a tribute. The new 4-door, 5-seater is a departure from Ferrari's signature gas-powered sports car, and it was unveiled at a gala on Monday, and we were talking about it earlier in the week, too. I want to say the price tag was $800,000 Canadian, I think.
For the steering wheel?
Yeah, that's just for the steering wheel. Maybe one hubcap.
So did they get, I saw the visuals there, a white one. He got to drive the white one.
Yeah, earlier we showed a blue one.
Yeah.
No, maybe a few different colors.
At least blue and white.
It was papal. Or white.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I love that. Yeah, no, for sure.
How much horsepower does it have?
Well, that's Italy. We've mentioned that much of Europe is experiencing a heat wave this week. This is for you, Amanda.
Okay.
To the girl who once called 911 to talk about horses. It's just some visuals of horses keeping cool. So among other things, trainers are spraying the horses' backs with cool water as high temperatures sweep across Italy. This stable is located near Milan. You could take a Ferrari there if you wanted to.
Or a horse.
Or a horse. Some parts of the country are seeing temperatures around 35 degrees Celsius this week. But really, this was just an excuse to show some horse visuals, so to know that at least you used to love horses.
Oh, I still love horses. I was saying that to my husband. I'm like, I want to get back into horseback riding. I can get back on the farm. I miss them so much, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the barn cats personally when I did horseback riding.
Oh, they're so good and scrappy,
Yeah.
but also like cuddly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. So we learned a lot there. The heat wave in Europe continues.
Yes.
The Ferrari comes in many different colors.
And the Pope likes it.
The Pope likes it.
Yeah, the Pope likes it. And
likes to go
visiting
fast.
the barn is good for the soul. We know that too.
That's true. Well, sometimes if you're horseback riding in the heat, boy, it can get really uncomfortable. So if you're going out to the farm, at least if you're working these conditions, maybe you'll feel you won't get too hot.
It's true. You
Definitely not too
you
hot.
won't get overheated, that's for sure.
You might want to bundle up a little bit and, you know, maybe take some rain gear.
Put on a work glove.
Yeah. Still ahead, I'll have your national and international news headlines, and Brianne will have more details on the forecast. Don't let this view fool you. It is late May, but it is feeling so cold out there this morning and damp. Brianne has more details with her full forecast right after this break.
In 6:43 if you're in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And yes, a beautiful, calm start to the day in this area of Nova Scotia. We are going to continue to see some cloud cover, and it's going to have some much colder temperatures than what we're used to seeing at this time of year. As we take a look here at our current temperatures, yes, a little bit on that chillier side to start the day, and we're not going to see much of a warm up. So that is something to take into consideration, especially as you start your day. Make sure you are bringing a jacket with you because we will see some mixed precipitation coming through the region as well. So taking a look here at our visibility to start today, mostly clear conditions through western parts of Nova Scotia. We are going to continue to see a little bit of that fog throughout northern parts of New Brunswick, as well as over into the Cape Breton area and through parts of Newfoundland and Labrador as well. Watching our forecasted timeline, we will see some rain coming through the region, and we are going to see a little bit of that mixed precipitation that I was talking about in parts of Cape Breton. So we are going to see a little bit of that snow-rain mix for Cape Breton. We could see an accumulation of 2 to 4 centimeters of snow in the highlands in Cape Breton, so something to take into consideration. Again, we are mostly going to be blanketed through Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island today with some rainfall. We'll have some scattered showers coming through parts of New Brunswick. As we head later into the evening, we'll start to see that system push more over into Newfoundland and Labrador. And then into Saturday, we'll see a few scattered showers hanging around, but mostly we are going to see just some cloudy conditions. Taking a look at our accumulated rainfall, the majority of that is going to be into Prince Edward Island, as well as eastern parts of Nova Scotia and Cape Breton, of course, and then over into parts of Newfoundland as well. Taking a look here at our forecast for today, temperatures ranging between 9 and 15 degrees. Again, much cooler than what we're used to seeing at this time of year. Scattered showers throughout most of New Brunswick for today. Over on Prince Edward Island, temperatures ranging between 6 and 8. And again, that rain is going to continue throughout the course of today as well. Into Cape Breton and eastern parts of Nova Scotia, temperatures ranging from 9 to 4. Again, that wintry mix in parts of Cape Breton, so do take that into consideration. A little bit warmer and some more sun coming through for western parts of Nova Scotia, but we will see those showers hanging around through that Bridgewater and Halifax area. Nice day in Labrador City, but rain and colder conditions up in Nain. And again, we are going to continue to see that rain throughout most of Newfoundland. Time now to check in with Amanda for a look at national and international news.
Thank you, Brianne. There is a potential deal on the horizon between the U.S. and Iran, though leaders from each country still need to give their stamp of approval. ABC's Olivia Rubin is in Washington with the details.
Today, the U.S. and Iran on the brink of a possible deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
They negotiate. They're very good negotiators. They're crafty. But in the end, we have all the cards.
According to U.S. officials, President Trump has been briefed on a draft agreement, which would extend the ceasefire and have Iran gradually reopen the Strait of Hormuz over 60 days. In exchange, the U.S. would slowly pull back its naval blockade of Iranian ports, giving the sides more time to negotiate. But neither President Trump nor Iran's supreme leader have given their final approval here.
I think it's hard to say exactly when or if the president is going to sign the MOU.
And still missing from the potential deal, a solution to Iran's nuclear program. The reason Trump says he started the war in the first place.
We're in a position where we could substantially set back their nuclear program. We're going to keep on working at it.
Sources also say the U.S. has committed to discussing sanctions relief for Iran during the negotiation period, something the president had said was not up for discussion. But pressed by ABC's Mary Bruce, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent not ruling it out.
Just to be clear, is sanctions relief for Iran on the table?
It is a multifaceted agreement, and nothing is going to be on the table until we see the Strait of Hormuz open and the Iranians agree that they have to turn over the highly enriched uranium and that they can't have a nuclear program.
Now, reopening the strait could bring some critical economic relief, though Trump says that's not his main concern when negotiating here. Rather, he says his priority is preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
And Prime Minister Mark Carney was in New York yesterday speaking about Canada-U.S. trade relations. His message seemed to resonate with audiences on both sides of the border. CTV's Graham Richardson has more on the message designed to get the U.S. president's attention.
In the heart of the world's financial capital, Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered his message that change has come to Canada. But it was this line that intentionally stole the show.
Canada Strong will help make America great again.
This was a message delivered to big money investors at the Economic Club of New York, but the line itself was designed to catch the attention of the audience of one at the White House. And it may have worked. Late today, U.S. Ambassador to Canada Pete Hoekstra repeated the line, tweeting, "I think a lot of Americans can get behind that kind of positive message." This now appears to be the first sign in months of a thaw in Canada-U.S. relations. Carney's speech was heavy on change in what he described as a new Canada.
That future should include a new partnership with Canada, a true partnership that reimagines cooperation in specific sectors that are deeply challenged by global competition, a partnership with a different Canada, a stronger Canada, a more confident Canada.
A different story from the opposition leader accusing the Liberals and Carney of flip-flopping on the American relationship.
As he cannot seem to decide if integration with the U.S. is a strength or a weakness. He's argued passionately for both positions in the last 3 months alone.
Carney also spent significant time here on Canada's military spending, especially in the north, another move the Americans have been pressing for.
We did need to step up to take more responsibility for Arctic security. We're doing that now.
So he never mentioned Donald Trump by name, but that wasn't necessary, pulling out that MAGA phrase that has inspired millions of Americans and offended millions of other Americans. Is this a true olive branch from Canada? As they head into key trade talks next week in Washington, we'll soon find out.
CTV's Graham Richardson reporting in New York. Finally, just days after appearing at a Montreal Canadiens playoff game, hockey legend Claude Lemieux has died. It was just this past Monday when fans at the Bell Centre in Montreal gave Lemieux a standing ovation as he acted as the torchbearer before the Habs playoff game. Lemieux has hoisted the cup with the Canadiens, the New Jersey Devils, and the Colorado Avalanche. He was known as a skilled player with a tough side on the ice. Authorities in Florida now say Lemieux took his own life. He was 60 years old. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have your business headlines and your must-see moment from our colleagues at TSN. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100.
day.
Yeah.
All right, very impressive. It's almost 6:25 and time now to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. And for it, we are off to Texas. Astros taking on the Rangers. Brandon Nimmo drives one to right. It is heading out of the park. That is until Cam Smith gets a beat on it, leaps at the wall, and robs the home run. A perfectly timed jump for Smith. He just gets enough of it with the glove to bring one back for Houston. It lands Smith your must-see moment from Thursday. And coming up tonight right here on TSN, Canada soccer head coach Jesse Marsh will name Canada's men's roster for the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. You can catch that at 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Now time to check in on your business headlines from our colleagues at BNN.
The banks reported strong earnings for the second quarter, despite some concerns about the Canadian economy. Scotiabank says its second quarter profit hit $2.6 billion, up from just over $2 billion a year ago. Its domestic banking business did well, but the CEO did point out stressors on the Canadian economy, including higher energy costs and the upcoming CUSMA review. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar down to 72.29. West Texas Intermediate down over $5 to 88.68. Western Canadian Select down over $2 at 75.58. And the TSX lost 241 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Merle Fernandez.
Taking a look here at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick. Again, we're going to see some scattered showers throughout the region. We are seeing a high of 10 degrees before we drop overnight into Saturday. Some of those showers continuing for parts of the southern portion of the province, but mostly cloudy conditions. And we'll see a mix of sun and cloud into Sunday. Over in Nova Scotia, we're going to continue to see that rain coming for much of the region. A little bit of that mixed precipitation for parts of Cape Breton. Into Saturday, a few showers remaining in the morning, but we'll see mostly cloudy skies. And into Sunday, we could see some of those showers sneaking back in a little bit later into the evening. Over on Prince Edward Island, that rain coming once again. Colder temperatures into Saturday. We'll see some sunshine. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There she is, everybody. Come up. We'll explain what's going on this half hour. It's a Move Morning Chat. We want to know, what subject does your partner love to talk about that you just can't seem to get interested in no matter how hard you try? That fun conversation coming up a little later this half hour on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. It is just turning 6:31, 7:01 if you're in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. The calendar says May 29th. Weather does not feel like May 29th. Happy to have Brianne in for Latavia this morning to deliver the cold weather for us.
Yeah, someone's got to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Crystal and I were saying when we were first coming in this morning, it was going back to the boots. It was going back to like that thicker jacket as well, grabbing a few more layers even just to wear inside because it's so cold.
My nephew's in town for a track meet. I think I'm gonna have to get the parka out to go watch the meet because it can be really cold at the track. Anyway, just be warned. It's a little colder than you might have thought this morning, but you got the details now.
Yeah. It is cold and it's going to stay cold. Beautiful start to the day, though, in McAdam here, as per usual. I love that sky. Right? Isn't it gorgeous? But again, cold. So if you are looking outside and you're being like, oh, it's a beautiful start to the day, just make sure you are bundling up a little bit. Like the lady said, it's a cold start to the day. As we can see here, those temperatures hovering between 7 degrees and 2 degrees. So we're seeing significantly colder temperatures than what we're used to seeing at this time of year. And that's pretty much going to be the trend for today. We're going to get up into the mid-teens for parts of New Brunswick. But we're going to stay in those low teens for most of Nova Scotia, and still not even get into double digits for parts of Prince Edward Island. Up in parts of Labrador, it's going to be a little bit cooler up in Nain, but we are going to see a little bit of a warm up in Labrador City and Happy Valley Goose Bay. Now, taking a look at our current winds, we are seeing those northerly winds coming through. We're going to see some gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour, mostly along the coast. As you can see in Canso right now, we are seeing those wind gusts up to 59 over in Sydney, 56 in St. John, 39. 35 in Halifax. Now, taking a look at our visibility this morning, a little bit of fog hanging around through parts of the region, especially over in Prince Edward Island and parts of Cape Breton. We are going to continue to see a little bit of that fog hanging around up in Labrador and Newfoundland, as well as into northern parts of New Brunswick. Mostly clearer skies, though, in parts of western Nova Scotia. I'll have a full look at that forecast coming up in just a bit. But for now, let's head over to Amanda for your look at news.
Thanks, Brianne. And we begin with some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices decreased overnight. In Nova Scotia Zone 1, gas fell by 7.2 cents. The minimum price now $1.78.4. And diesel dropped by 12.1 cents. The minimum price $2.06 a liter. In Prince Edward Island, gas fell for a third time this week, now by 6.4 cents. The minimum price now $1.85 a liter, and diesel decreased by 6.4 cents. The minimum price now $2.19.5. Now to the only increase on the board. Gas in New Brunswick went up by 1.6 cents. The maximum price now $1.87.6. This comes after a decrease yesterday. Meantime, diesel fell by 2.3 cents. The maximum price now $2.23.8 a liter. New Brunswick's energy regulator has approved a Crown Corporation's application for a 500 megawatt natural gas plant. NB Power says it needs the project to meet a sharp increase in power demand by 2028. The corporation has a 25-year contract with Missouri-based Pro Energy to set up 10 natural gas turbines in a rural area in the province's southeast. NB Power says the proposed plant will help serve as a backstop when weather-dependent renewable resources are not available. The mother of the newborn baby whose body was discovered in Halifax Sunday has herself died in hospital. Her death and her baby's are both being investigated by the medical examiner.
They will determine the manner and cause of death. However, both of those investigations will take an extended period of time.
Police admit they were never able to speak to the 23-year-old woman who died in hospital Wednesday after being taken in by paramedics Friday night in what police called a life-threatening condition not connected to violence. An urgent search for the newborn began when the woman showed up at hospital with no baby to be found. The baby's remains were found in the woods off Old Coach Road on Sunday. 2 people charged in the case have agreed to return to court in June to enter pleas on 4 charges, including concealing the body of a child and causing an indignity to human remains. A dangerous offender who went to prison in 2011 for kidnapping, confining, and sexually assaulting a woman in Moncton has been granted release from prison. 15 years ago, Romeo Cormier was convicted of kidnapping a woman at knife point and holding her in his apartment for nearly a month until she escaped. The woman, whose identity was protected by a publication ban, testified Cormier grabbed her at knife point in February 2010 outside the former Highfield Square Mall where she worked.
I really feel that Mom is just like really strong person, and her attitude was that she wasn't going to let Romeo Cormier continue making her a victim.
Parole Board of Canada documents state the now 78-year-old's case was reviewed on May 12th. He was granted statutory release with several special conditions, including not having any contact with the victim or members of her family. A group of people in Woodstock have filed a lawsuit against Covered Bridge potato chips, saying they didn't sign up for the noise or smell.
The smell is like old, greasy fat, so it's heavy and old smelling, and it rests. It rests on the neighborhood. So there's some days that it's just 3 or 4 days of this constant old, greasy potato chip fat.
Covered Bridge Potato Chips turned its Woodstock warehouse into a processing facility last year after a fire destroyed the company's original factory near Heartland. Neighbors have launched a legal claim against Covered Bridge Chips, alleging the factory has caused a significant and ongoing disruption to their lives. Covered Bridge's vice president says the company has made attempts and will continue to work to address concerns from residents, including plans to erect a fence, plant trees, and add mufflers to stacks on the factory's roof. The company offered no comment on the legal claim launched a few weeks ago. Well, we're saying a very happy 43rd birthday to ASN.
This first in Canadian and world communications will be underway.
Well, Fred, it's with great pride and pleasure that I press this button and hereby officially declare Atlantic Satellite Network officially launched.
The beginning of so many stories. Today marks 43 years since the launch of ASN on May 28, 1983. Iconic song. ASN was originally going to be called ATV2, but the name was changed to ASN before the launch, and ASN later became A Channel, which is now CTV2, which is what you are watching.
Happy birthday, ASN!
Wow. It's all right here for you. Oh, man, those old jingles, they really put a lot of heart and soul into them.
Right. And the newscast called Atlantic Pulse, too.
Wow.
It was just iconic. Part of our history. Love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is 42 years. It's amazing how much things have changed.
It is. And every time we pull this footage, it comes from old tape. Like all of that is secured on old tape around here. So it's always a special shout out to our colleague Leo Carter, because he is the master of going through all the old tape, knowing where everything is, and digitizing it so we can bring it to you.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, guess what? It's time to tell you how to win our contest. And bittersweet, this is our very last day of the contest.
Oh my gosh, last day.
Yeah, if you haven't entered yet, you have one more chance. It's today. So to enter to win our Your Morning Atlantic Pay Your Bills contest, offering you the chance to win $20,000, all you have to do is go to our contest page at ctvatlantic.ca or scan this QR code you'll see in just a second. There it is. Today's word is save. Enter that, a tiny bit of info in a few seconds. You'll be entered to win $20,000, and next week we'll announce the winner.
Ow. Okay, we're going to have a quick break here. Still ahead, we have your entertainment headlines from Hollywood. Brianne has the Friday forecast and also the Move Morning Chat. We're going to ask, what's a subject your partner goes on and about that you just, well, you don't find interesting no matter how hard you try? We're fessing up next.
Good morning, Peggy. Yes, it is a beautiful start to the day. 6:43, 7:13 if you're in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And while that skyline looks gorgeous, it is a little bit chilly out there to start your day. And that's pretty much going to be the name of the game across the board for the region for today. As we take a look here at your current temperatures, yes, cooler conditions to start the day. We're looking at temperatures ranging from 2 to 7 degrees throughout Nova Scotia, around that 5-6 degree mark for much of New Brunswick, as well as over onto Prince Edward Island. A little bit colder over in northern parts of Labrador, and then we will continue to see a little bit of a warm up in those areas, but we are going to be contending with some wet weather. So starting our day visibility wise, we are starting to see some of that fog push out of the region. Mostly clear conditions through parts of Nova Scotia. We'll still see a little bit of that fog hanging around, especially in the Cape Breton area in Nova Scotia. Watching our forecasted timeline for today, yeah, we are still seeing that rain. So that's going to hang around pretty much for the majority of today. As you take a look here into parts of Cape Breton, that's going to be a wintry mix. So we are going to see a little bit of that snow as well as that rain coming through. Could see an accumulation of snow as well in that area. So about 2 to 4 centimeters, especially in the highlands. Rain's pretty much going to blanket into the evening. We'll start to see that system kind of push out of the region. later into Friday night and then into the early hours of Saturday morning. Going to hang around through parts of Cape Breton and over in Newfoundland and Labrador. And we will see some scattered showers throughout parts of eastern Nova Scotia as we head into Saturday morning. Taking a look here at our accumulation of rain, the majority of that is, of course, going to be over in eastern parts of Nova Scotia, as well as Cape Breton, and then along that coastline over in Newfoundland as well. So watching our forecast for today, we're ranging from about 9 to 15 degrees for most of New Brunswick, some scattered showers coming through the region. We are going to continue to see some showers throughout most of Prince Edward Island. Again, those colder temperatures, those wet temperatures, that's pretty much the name of the game across the board. We're seeing temperatures ranging from 4 to 9 degrees in eastern parts of Nova Scotia, and then a little bit of a warm up for western parts of Nova Scotia. But again, we are going to continue to see some scattered showers, especially in that central area around the Bridgewater and Halifax area for today. Now, as we head over into Newfoundland and Labrador, much colder temperatures up in Nain. We will start to see some of that sun break through, though, in Labrador City and Happy Valley Goose Bay, and then those colder temperatures and, of course, that drizzle hanging around for Newfoundland for today. Time now to head over to the Move Morning Chat.
Happy Friday. It's the Move Morning Chat with Aaron and Peter from Move Mornings in Halifax. And this morning, we're talking about what's something our partner loves talking about that you just cannot get interested in. What brought this up?
Well, actually, a conversation between Peter and I is what brought this up. I'm moving into a new home, and I'm in the middle of putting a new septic tank in, yada, yada. I don't really know anything about that. But I simply showed Peter a photo of my new septic tank that was getting put into the backyard, and he was going off about septic tanks. That looks like a spaceship. It's the most beautiful septic tank I've ever seen. I had to listen to him talk about septic tanks for a good half an hour. I don't know anything about them. As long as I can flush a toilet, that's all I care about. So it just got us chatting about, those conversations you have with your partner, and they're so interested, and you're like, what?
Crystal, Amanda, I have to tell you, this was a beautiful septic tank, okay? Yeah, all right. Listen, where do I start? I've already seen that I've lost you. But my wife talks about things all the time that I'm going, okay, and I could just kind of zone out on. What do you want to know about Korean romances on television? Dramedies. I could tell you nothing about it because she's told me a lot, but I've remembered nothing. How about figure skating? I think this one started with the Olympics. Oh, Crystal.
I would be interested in that, yeah. I love figure skating.
Okay, I don't know who's dancing with who or who trained with who or whose partner this was before they were this person's partner. And, oh, please, no, please, I don't want to hear anything more about it, please.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I know, okay, well, my husband, we should have a guest chair for him right now. He would love to join in about that septic tank, I'll tell you. He just loves, we have this old farmhouse in Cape Breton, and it has a lot of issues. One time, he actually has written a book, 2 books, and one time when he was trying to fix the septic tank that's nothing like Aaron's, I'll tell you. He was digging around in it, like knee-deep in whatever's in a septic tank, it is not, you know what's in there. And the proofs were coming in for the cover for the book, and he had to make a decision, but he was too disgusting to get out. So I had to hold up the iPad, be like, do you like A or B? And he's making that decision in the septic tank. Oh my gosh. So I do understand that a good septic tank is definitely worth its money, but beyond that, I wouldn't be able to talk much about it.
I hope on the cover art thing, it says who designed it. I hope it says chosen while in a septic tank.
Chosen while in a septic tank. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
What about you?
My husband loves this, and I try so hard to listen and pay attention and be engaged and ask interesting questions, but it's not for me. But he is obsessed. It is cycling. Think the Tour de France. Think the Giro d'Italia. While I do appreciate the beautiful drone shots and scenery, I can't tell you anything about the race, but I can tell you the names that he repeats all the time, which is Tadej Pogačar, Jonas Vingegaard, Matthew Van Der Poel, and then there's a Canadian guy named Derek G. I hear those names all the time, and one of them is Mike always says he's a bridesmaid and never a bride because he's always coming in second and he's so close, but then he says one guy's good at the mountains and the other one isn't, and it's all over my head, but I try to act really invested when he's explaining these cyclists, and it's just not for me, and I'm still confused.
Yeah, I zoned out into a happy place with you naming off those people. In any case, thank you guys. This is a great topic. It's going to, I think, fire up everybody. So we want to hear from you now. What is something your partner loves talking about that you just can't get interested in no matter how hard you try? Text us at 10400. We'll have a fun roundup a little later on in the show.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back, 6:53. For our Move Morning Chat, we're talking about things your partner talks about that you can't really get interested in. For me, that sometimes can be sports. Wouldn't be a problem for you.
Would not be a problem for me. Nope.
You could hold your own.
Hold my own, continue that conversation, definitely push that farther. Yeah, I don't know what mine would be, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like to learn new things. So
Me too.
So whenever somebody is explaining something, I usually am fascinated for probably like the first 20 minutes. And then like maybe after that, like maybe I'll start to like...
Yeah, that fair,
right?
Very fair. All right, well, let's take a trip to Hollywood in less than 20 minutes to get there as we look at your entertainment headlines.
The eyes of the world are upon you.
A D-Day movie is storming the box office this weekend. Brendan Fraser and Andrew Scott co-star in Pressure. ABC Audio spoke with Scott about portraying the Scottish meteorologist tasked with forecasting favorable conditions for the Allied invasion to Fraser's General Dwight D. Eisenhower.
I think it's very moving that both these people were like, they wanted to do the right thing by the world rather than show off their own, to peacock their own achievements.
Toy Story 5 premiered in London Thursday. The long-awaited Disney Pixar film explores toys competing with technology. Tom Hanks, who voices Woody, had this advice.
Here's how we can all protect ourselves from tech. Are you ready for this? Put it down. Turn it off. Do something else.
We call it Hoppers.
Huh? Hoppers is making its way to Disney Plus next week. The Pixar comedy lands on the streamer on June 3rd. Disney is the parent company of Pixar, Disney Plus, and ABC News. And happy birthday to Spice Girl Mel B, who is 51 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
All right, that is your news from Hollywood. Now your local news. Happening now, there is some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices decreased overnight. Now, for the most part, prices took quite a tumble, but experts say this relief on the wallet will not last long. Plus, Romeo Cormier, a dangerous offender who went to prison in 2011 for kidnapping, confining, and sexually assaulting a woman in Moncton, has been granted release from prison. We'll have reaction from the woman's daughter. And the Halifax Keychain Library. We'll have the story on this unique collection that really opens the door to community connection. We'll have those stories coming up next in your local news at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. But first, it's a look at the 3-day weekend forecast with Brianne.
Thank you, Amanda. And yes, looking at that forecast, we are still going to see some showers in our region. We will see a little bit of that sunshine popping through for Saturday and into Sunday for the majority of New Brunswick. We do see a little bit of an increase in temperatures as we head throughout the weekend as well. Over in Nova Scotia, we are going to continue to see that rain, especially in eastern parts of the province for today. We are going to continue to see some of those scattered showers into Saturday. Sunday should see warm up as well. Over on Prince Edward Island, yep, you guessed it. Colder temperatures and rain for today. Sunshine on Saturday.
It's Friday, May 29th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, there's some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices decreased quite a bit overnight for most. We'll have those numbers just ahead in your news headlines.
And a weekend of hope and helping for a good cause. The IWK Telethon for Children is back for its 30th year on CTV. We hear an inspiring patient story this half hour on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning, Atlantic.
Atlantic, Canada. It is almost 7:01, 7:31 if you're in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And someone yesterday told me that we're going into January because that's what the weather is feeling like.
January? I like it.
January. I liked it. I was like, I'm gonna borrow that one. Put that one in my pocket.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh my gosh, NMA is so cold. Speaking of the upcoming month of June, I did see my first June bug.
Oh. You did?
I did. It wasn't alive. So I don't know if the weather is impacting them or not, but...
Do they only come out in June?
Oh, that's typically when you see them early June, and you're being silly. Yeah, but...
I was pulling an Amanda.
What about a jitterbug?
Silly. A
Did you see
jitterbug?
a jitterbug?
No, but I feel... That's more something you feel.
Yeah, because that's the dance.
Oh, wow. Wow, we're really going all over the place here.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. I wouldn't mind doing the jitterbug just to stay warm.
I mean, you might need to. Like, you might be shaking so much that you actually just
you're not even
throw a kick in there.
Exactly.
Oh, no, they took the live eye. We're going to do a song and dance. We're getting ready.
Aw, sad.
Rehearse it a little bit first. We'll do it later.
I know I don't want to be jumping in the water right now because it is very cold out, much colder than what the average type of temperature is for this time of year. But we are seeing some of that sun trying to poke through those clouds as we head throughout our day today, and we will continue to see some of that increase in sunshine through parts of New Brunswick and parts of Nova Scotia, specifically the western parts of Nova Scotia. We are going to continue to see some rainfall in our forecast for most of Prince Edward Island, eastern parts of Nova Scotia. A little bit of snow, too, in parts of Cape Breton, hence the January. We are going to see a little bit of an accumulation, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow, especially over the highlands. But taking a look here at those current temperatures, again, a colder start to the day, so just make sure you are dressing appropriately for the weather, because even if it looks nice outside, it's going to be a little bit cooler, and that's going to continue. Now, we are seeing some winds coming through the region. Those northerly winds are coming down into the region. We'll see some gusts up to about 40 kilometers per hour, a little bit higher in parts of Cape Breton, as we can see, as well as over in Canso, 59, gusting up to 56 right now in Sydney, up to 43 in St. John, and 35 over in Halifax. Taking a look here at our visibility, that's fog is pretty much moving out of the region. Still some fog patches, especially over in the Cape Breton area and along the coastline there in Newfoundland. So just take that into consideration as you hit the road this morning. We'll have a full look at the forecast coming up in just a bit. But for now, let's head over to Amanda for a look at news.
We begin with some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices decreased overnight for most. In Nova Scotia Zone 1, that's the Halifax area, gas fell by 7.2 cents. The minimum price now $1.78.4. Diesel dropped by 12.1 cents. The minimum price now closer to the $2 mark. It's $2.06 a litre. In Prince Edward Island, gas fell for a third time this week. The price now this time falling by 6.4 cents overnight. The minimum price $1.85 a litre. And diesel on the island decreased by 6.4 cents. The minimum price $2.19.5. Now, this is the only increase on the board. Gas in New Brunswick, it's up by 1.6 cents. The maximum price $1.87.6. This comes after a decrease yesterday. Diesel did decrease by 2.3 cents. The maximum price now $2.23.8. And Nova Scotians will also be paying more at the pumps, but it has nothing to do with the war in Iran. The Energy Board has approved a 1.7 cent a litre increase to both gas and diesel to give retailers more revenue. Turns out more motorists are using credit cards to fill their tanks, which means higher fees for the gas stations. They'll now get a minimum 7.1 cents per litre to pocket. The mother of the newborn baby, whose body was discovered in Halifax Sunday, has herself died in hospital. Her death and her baby's are both being investigated by the medical examiner.
They will determine the manner and cause of death. However, both of those investigations will take an extended period of time.
Police admit they were never able to speak to the 23-year-old woman who died in hospital Wednesday after being taken in by paramedics Friday night in what police called life-threatening condition not connected to violence. An urgent search for the newborn began when the woman showed up at hospital with no baby to be found. The baby's remains were found in the woods off Old Coach Road on Sunday. 2 people charged in the case have agreed to return to court next month to enter pleas on 4 charges, including concealing the body of a child and causing indignity to human remains. In New Brunswick, a dangerous offender who went to prison in 2011 for kidnapping, confining, and sexually assaulting a woman in Moncton has been granted release from prison. 15 years ago, Romeo Cormier was convicted of kidnapping a woman and holding her in his apartment for nearly a month until she escaped. The woman, whose identity was protected by a publication ban, testified Cormier grabbed her at knife point in February 2010 outside the former Highfield Square Mall where she worked.
I really feel that Mom is a really strong person, and her attitude was that she wasn't going to let Romeo Cormier continue making her a victim.
Parole Board of Canada documents state the case was reviewed on May 12th. Now 78 years old, Cormier was granted statutory release with several special conditions, including not having any contact with the victim or members of her family. You may have heard of little libraries for books or toys, but what about keychains? As CTV's Stephanie Seacos reports, a Halifax woman is spreading joy one trinket at a time.
Every day I fill it up. Every morning around 10:30, I try to make sure I get out there and fill it up for people.
The little library, located on Tower Road in South End, Halifax, hasn't even been open for a month, but it's already a hit.
I've had so many cool finds, though, in terms of little trinkets, like old things from the 90s, from cereal boxes, or like things from popular TV shows, things from toy boxes, whatever.
Any small item can be transformed into a keychain using a hand drill. There have been some very creative donations.
It's been really cool because we've gotten a lot of local artists who have brought their own little creations. We've had crocheted little things, or artists who've painted little keychains.
People have come from near and far.
I came all the way from Cape Breton just to visit the keychain library. I saw it on Facebook, and I knew that I had to come and see it for myself and give some creations.
Whether you take a keychain or leave one, Arthur is just happy to make her mark.
It's just a joy project almost that I wanted to bring to the community so that kids and adults alike could enjoy something.
Stephanie Seacos, CTV News, Halifax.
That is so cute.
I was just eyeing it up. Yep. I don't know which one I want. I love keychains.
Do you two, I was gonna say, do you two have a particular favorite keychain that you have or had over the years, or just...
Do you know what's hilarious?
What?
My favorite keychain ever that I've received is actually from Parsboro, Nova Scotia.
Wow.
Yeah, my girlfriend gave it to me 15 years ago now.
Oh, so even before you were here?
Before I was here. I'd never even stepped foot in Nova Scotia or Eastern Canada, and she got it for me because her girlfriend lived in Amherst. And so she came for a trip, and she got it to me, and she's like, "You're my lobster." And so she gave me the lobster Parsboro. The Parsboro is almost off of it now, but it's my favorite keychain.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a great story.
Right?
Yeah. I don't have a favorite. I rotate through the collection. Yeah. Can't wait to find out where that is and go check that out.
Yeah.
I have to make some too and donate them.
Oh, really cool idea. People are so creative.
I know. I love it.
Yeah. Nice to see.
Okay, well, here we are again, our second last time ever doing the contest.
This is your last
ever. This is it. For this particular contest, the Your Morning Atlantic We Will Pay Your Bills $20,000 giveaway is coming to a close. Next hour, you'll have one more chance to win. This is your last chance for a 7 o'clock hour entry. Here we go. You can enter once per day. All you do is go to our webpage, or the QR code will take you there as well. There's a little contest site. You just click at the top, put the word SAVE in today along with a little bit of info. You'll be entered to win on the last day of our contest. One more chance coming up. We'll give you one more reminder next hour, but one word today, and that's SAVE.
Save. Hopefully you can save some of that money.
Exactly.
Well, not too far from Parsboro is Burnt Coat Head. Let's take a live look there. The tide is out. It looks like a fairly calm day, but boy, is it cold out there. Brienne will have the low daytime highs next.
Good morning, Port de Grave. 7:43, 7:13 if you are in the Maritimes and parts of Labrador. Yeah, it's a little bit of a foggy, rainy start to the day, and that's pretty much going to be the name of the game, especially throughout Newfoundland for today. We're looking at much cooler temperatures as we head towards the day today. So a lot colder than what we're used to seeing at this time of year. And yes, we do have some precipitation in our forecast as well. Mostly hanging around throughout Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and into Newfoundland is where we'll see the showers. We'll see some showers throughout parts of central New Brunswick as well as northern parts a little bit later into today. We will see some sunshine popping through. However, that system is pretty much hanging around for most of Nova Scotia for today. We're going to see a little bit of some flurry action as well over in parts of Cape Breton for today before the system pushes out of our region as we head into the weekend. So now, as we take a look here at the accumulation of rain over the next 24 hours, the majority of it, of course, is going to be in that eastern portion of Nova Scotia as well as over into Cape Breton. And then as we head into Newfoundland and Labrador, we will see the majority of that hanging around in Newfoundland. So for today, temperatures ranging between 9 and 16 degrees. We are seeing scattered showers, like I said, but some sunshine coming through over on Prince Edward Island. Yes, that rain continuing, and we are seeing those cooler temperatures hanging around, much the same over in parts of Cape Breton. I'm losing my mind in parts of Cape Breton as well as eastern parts of Nova Scotia. And then we see a little bit of a warm up into western parts of Nova Scotia, some sun popping through, but again, those scattered showers still hanging around through central parts as well. Over into Newfoundland and Labrador. Sunnier skies in Labrador, but again, that rain is hanging around in Newfoundland. But time now to check in with Kaylin for our burn forecast.
This is the Campfire Conditions Report, valid until 2 p.m. on May 29th, brought to you by Pine Acres RV, where customers become friends. While it is cloudy, cool, and damp weather in place across the Maritimes, the province of New Brunswick is currently open to both campfires and Category 1 burning. For the province of Nova Scotia, campfires and Category 1 burning permitted between the hours of 2 p.m. and 8 a.m. And for the province of Prince Edward Island, campfires are currently permitted, with domestic brush burning allowed between the hours of 2 p.m. and 8 a.m.
Thank you, Kaylin. Just days after appearing at a Montreal Canadiens playoff game, hockey legend Claude Lemieux has died. It was just this past Monday when fans at the Bell Centre in Montreal gave Lemieux a standing ovation as he acted as the torchbearer before the Habs playoff game. Lemieux has hoisted the cup with the Canadiens, the New Jersey Devils, and the Colorado Avalanche. He was known as a skilled player with a tough side on the ice. Authorities in Florida now say Lemieux took his own life. He was 60 years old. Canada, the U.S., and Mexico are aligning on border precautions for people traveling from Ebola-hit regions of Africa.
Canada still remains low risk, but we are taking all the precautionary measures.
The changes come as the three North American nations get set to host the World Cup. Canada has already suspended entry for residents from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, and South Sudan, despite the WHO's recommendation against travel restrictions. Nearly 3,000 federal public servants have been approved for an early retirement package. A few weeks back, the federal government launched the Early Retirement Incentive Program as part of its plan to trim the size of the public service by 2029. Under the program, eligible public servants can apply to retire early with no penalty. The Treasury Board of Canada says nearly 6,800 public servants have applied, though just under 2,800 packages have been certified so far. Another break here on your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we will share a story ahead of the IWK Telethon this weekend. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back at 7:21. Now, looking ahead to this weekend's IWK Telethon, we'd like to share one of the patient stories with you. In the spring of 2024, after a healthy pregnancy and uncomplicated birth, Claire and Kyle welcomed their little girl, Marigold. But within minutes of being born, Marigold struggled to breathe and needed to be rushed to the IWK's neonatal intensive care unit for emergency care. Here's how the IWK's NICU team helped save Marigold's life.
When you see Marigold, she exudes light. It's like she says, I'm here to shine and I just want to spread joy. I'm Claire and I am Marigold's mother.
My name is Kyle, I'm Marigold's father.
Our journeys at the IWK started a number of years before Marigold arrived. Kyle and I had been together for at least 15 years and we were very fortunate to begin the journey of starting our family. That ended in a miscarriage. After a period of time, we decided to take the leap again. Unfortunately, that pregnancy also ended in a miscarriage, and that one had a significant amount of additional medical trauma. We were able to get pregnant, but I felt like we could never make it over the finish line. And with that, it felt that my body was failing me. We then fell pregnant with who is now Marigold. Yeah, where do you have power? It's in your arms. And
the day that Marigold was born, we had a complex care plan that had been put in place very kindly with the help of the IWK, and the birth went perfectly.
They put her on my chest.
And she seemed to be almost making a bit of a cooing sound.
And I had the instinct to just be rubbing her back.
She really was struggling to breathe. At that point, she was taken very quickly by the nursing staff there to the neonatal intensive care unit.
We had an arrangement that if we had to be separated, Kyle would immediately go with the baby. To this day, I'm still not fully sure all the things he had to see.
They very quickly went through a series of procedures. One of the most uncommon was that they put in a chest tube.
Holding down your own baby is not something you ever want to have to do while they put chest tubes and things in her. There had been a doctor, Dr. Al-Said,
who was almost instantly able to diagnose the congenital chylothorax by drawing fluid out and identifying it as Kyle. Congenital chylothorax is a condition where you have a hole or a gap in your lymphatic system where fluid drains into the chest cavity. And so as a result, when Marigold was born, she had her heart on the wrong side of her chest, a collapsed lung on her left side.
It was congenital, whereas most often the cases are surgically induced. And because it was non-surgical, it meant that there was no way to fix it. Our approach was, first, to keep her stable. Second, they needed to stop the fluid accumulation, which took weeks. And if that worked, the only hope was that she would be able to heal herself and close the hole. All of the nurses and care team, they shared so much wisdom with us about the importance of skin to skin. After rounds in the morning, the whole team would come and they would put her in my arms. And I would sit there for 3 hours and I would read to her and snuggle with her and talk to her. They allowed us to have that power of being together.
I mean, the staff was incredible, but more than that, we actually got to know them, and there was this sense of caring and investment in us that I just wouldn't have expected in a medical setting.
And I categorically believe, because of the care that the IWK gave us and everyone in the NICU, but also that time that Marigold had with us and skin to skin, it allowed her body to heal.
She was able to remain stable long enough for them to treat it, which she did, so she was an absolute fighter through the whole piece. She is now a perfectly happy, healthy little child full of energy, which is fantastic and beyond what we could have asked for.
I would not be the woman that I am, the mother that I am, and have the child that I have without the IWK.
Oh, what a powerful story. Thank you so much to Marigold and her family for sharing their experience with us. Now, you can support the telethon by tuning in. May 30th is the tribute show, 7 to 9 p.m. Some wonderful East Coast acts will be on site along with Katie Kelly. She'll be premiering her new baby boy. And on May 31st, of course, it is the AWK Telethon for children from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. An inspiring day indeed. Please tune in if you can help. That would be wonderful. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of our show after this.
Still ahead, trading heavy products for an effortless, radiant glow. We'll get tips on ways to look flawless while protecting your skin during the summer months. That's just ahead on the Friday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Come on in and join us. 7:30 already on this Friday, last Friday of May, although it doesn't feel like it.
Why do you look at me when you say that?
Well, because you're doing the weather today. I know it's not your fault. My poor friends in Cape Breton today, friends and family.
And with the fog, too.
They're chilly. They're chilly. They're chilly today.
Snow.
I would like to share right now, this is out of the blue, but we're talking to Mira. She's going to have some wonderful ideas. It's fun to see what she does, and she does such a great job of showing off the skincare. But my trick for sweatiness in the summertime, because I have a real problem with my eyelids are kind of greasy anyway, no matter what I do. But especially in the summer, super sweaty, I take a little cornstarch right from the kitchen and put a little container. I just like put that cornstarch on with a little brush, and the makeup stays. So people at home, if you've got that same problem, it works.
Yep, it does. That is that's a trick a lot of makeup artists use.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
No idea.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit for you, a little bit for the gravy.
It's wonderful at Thanksgiving time because I can just make the gravy and then also just, touch up my eyes.
Freshen it up on top.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, anyway, that's fun. And anything to distract us from the chilliness of outdoors.
Yeah, honestly, you're not going to have the problem of sweating off your makeup today.
That's not the problem, no.
That is not the problem, not in our area anyways. As we take a look here, yes, cloudy conditions pretty much is going to be the name of the game as we head throughout the day today in the Maritime provinces, as well as over into Newfoundland and Labrador. We are seeing, like I said, colder conditions. A little bit of a warm-up happening throughout parts of Yarmouth and Fredericton, but we are still seeing those cooler temperatures, much cooler than the average of what we're seeing at this time of year. So right now, 2 degrees in Sydney, 7 degrees, like I said, in Fredericton, 1 degree up in Nain. We're looking at 4 degrees in Labrador City, as well as Happy Valley Goose Bay, as well as the Halifax area to start your day. Now, taking a look at our current winds, they are coming from the north, and we will see sustained winds around that 20 kilometer mark per hour, but we will see gusting winds coming through. So we're going to see a little bit of an increase in that, especially in that Canso area. We're looking at wind gusts at 57 kilometers per hour, 43 over in Sydney, or ranging on that 40 kilometer per hour mark in parts of Lunenburg and Halifax. As we take a look here at our visibility, that fog is starting to clear out, but it is, like Amanda said, hanging around for parts of Cape Breton as well as Prince Edward Island this morning. So do take that into consideration. If you do have to get out and about today, I'll have a full look at weather coming up in just a bit. But for now, let's head over to Amanda for a look at news.
Thanks, Brianne. And we begin with some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices tumbled overnight. In Nova Scotia Zone 1, gas fell by 7.2 cents. The minimum price now $1.78.4. And diesel dropped by 12.1 cents. The minimum price now $2.06. In PEI, gas fell for a third time this week, now by 6.4 cents. The minimum price $1.85 a liter. And diesel decreased by 6.4 cents. The minimum price now $2.19.5. Now to the only increase on the board, gas in New Brunswick is up by 1.6 cents. The maximum price $1.87.6. This comes after a decrease yesterday. Meantime, diesel, it fell in New Brunswick by 2.3 cents. The maximum price $2.23.8 a liter. Now, this is a nice relief for some, but according to experts, it will be short-lived.
Considering the world is short about 20% of what it needs to make ends meet, and we're using emergency supplies just to finish the day and to make sure our economies run well, we're looking at a scenario where it's going to require much higher prices to, as it were, dampen demand in order for supply to catch up.
Dan McTeague predicts the pump prices will push back towards $2 as early as next week. The mother of the newborn baby whose body was discovered in Halifax Sunday has herself died in hospital. Her death and her baby's are both being investigated by the medical examiner.
They will determine the manner and cause of death. However, both of those investigations will take an extended period of time.
Police admit they were never able to speak to the 23-year-old woman who died in hospital Wednesday after being taken in by paramedics Friday night in what police called life-threatening condition not connected to violence. An urgent search for the newborn began when the woman showed up at hospital with no baby to be found. The baby's remains were found in the woods off Old Coach Road on Sunday. 2 people charged in the case have agreed to return to court in June to enter pleas on 4 charges, including concealing the body of a child and causing indignity to human remains. A dangerous offender who went to prison in 2011 for kidnapping, confining, and sexually assaulting a woman in Moncton has been granted release from prison. 15 years ago, Romeo Cormier was convicted of kidnapping a woman and holding her in his apartment for nearly a month until she escaped. The woman, whose identity was protected by a publication ban, testified Cormier grabbed her at knife point in February 2010 outside the former Highfield Square Mall where she worked.
I really feel that Mom is a really strong person, and her attitude was that she wasn't going to let Romeo Cormier continue making her a victim.
Parole Board of Canada documents state the case was reviewed on May 12th. Now 78 years old, Cormier was granted statutory release with special conditions, including not having any contact with the victim or members of her family. A group of people in Woodstock have filed a lawsuit against Covered Bridge potato chips, saying they didn't sign up for the noise or smell.
The smell is like old, greasy fat. So it's heavy and old smelling, and it rests. It rests on the neighborhood. So there's some days that it's just 3 or 4 days of this constant old, greasy potato chip fat.
Covered Bridge potato chips turned its Woodstock warehouse into its processing facility last year after a fire destroyed the company's original factory near Heartland. Neighbors have launched a legal claim against Covered Bridge, alleging the factory has caused a significant and ongoing disruption to their lives. Covered Bridge's vice president says the company has made attempts and will continue to work to address concerns from residents. That includes plans to erect a fence, plant trees, and add mufflers to stacks on the factory's roof. The company offered no comment on the legal claim launched a few weeks ago. It's time to see some cute animals on this Friday morning. Here's a trio of rare giant otter pups who have started swimming lessons at a zoo in the UK. You gotta grab them by the scruff and just throw them in. That's what Mom and Dad were doing. The triplets spent the first few weeks of their lives tucked away in their den, but at 15 weeks old, they're ready for life in the water. Giant otters, believe it or not, they're listed as endangered. And these pups were born as part of an international conservation breeding program. For us, we're just enjoying the visuals.
Indeed.
Utterly adorable.
Yeah, that's a great enclosure they've got.
Isn't it nice? They're doing so well.
Oh my gosh, if you go to Shubenacadie Wildlife Park, the otters are always a good time.
Oh my gosh, they are fun.
We were out for a walk as a family.
See, look,
oh my gosh, get in there. Get in there. Sometimes you do. Yeah, swimming lessons, early swimming lessons. Just like that at the pool, too. With the kids.
Fewer lifeguards, though.
Yeah, that's true. We were walking on a path in southwestern Ontario a few weeks back when I was visiting family, and an otter went across the path in front of us.
Really?
Yes, it looked exactly like that.
They're so cute. Little water dogs.
Yes, they're so cute.
They're so sweet. I just, like, are we going to see them one more time throwing them? No.
I love that.
No.
I love that diving.
I love when they're on their backs and just like float.
Oh, holding the little rock or holding each other to sleep? Oh, yeah.
Holding hands with each other?
Holding hands. Oh, they're wonderful.
Oh. All right, well, good partners there.
Indeed.
We love to talk about animals on the show, but maybe it's one of those things you're like, ugh. animals again. We're asking you, what is something that your partner just loves talking about that you just cannot get interested in? We've received a few responses so far, and it's pretty funny. One viewer said curling. When his wife talks about curling, he tunes out. Another one, she says when her wife mentions investments.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some funny stories. Text us yours at 10400.
Good morning, New Brunswick, 7:43. 8:13 if you're in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And yes, it's a little bit of a cloudier start to the day, but mostly it's a chilly start to the day. We are seeing that wind blowing as well. As we take a look here at our current temperatures, much cooler start to the day than what we're used to seeing at this time of year. And that's pretty much the theme that's going to continue for the weekend. So taking a look here at our forecasted timeline, we are seeing some scattered showers through New Brunswick. The majority of that rain, though, is going to be staying in eastern parts of Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, as well as into Prince Edward Island, and then heading over into Newfoundland. Labrador seeing mostly sunny skies. A few scattered showers will be up in the Nain area for today. As we continue into the evening, we are going to continue to see some scattered showers, especially throughout the majority of Nova Scotia. We are going to see a little bit of that mixed precipitation as well through Cape Breton, so some snow in with that rain, and we could see up to 4 centimeters of accumulated snow in the highlands. As we head into the evening, the system does start to push out as we head into Saturday morning, so we will see some cloudy skies continue throughout the day for Saturday into New Brunswick. We'll see some spotty showers through eastern parts of Nova Scotia, but for the majority of western Nova Scotia, we will see a mix of sun and cloud into Saturday. Taking a look here at our accumulated rainfall, yes, the majority of that is going to be over in Cape Breton as well as into parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. And then as we head over into Newfoundland, we'll continue to see a buildup of that rain. So for today, temperatures ranging from 9 to 16 for New Brunswick, scattered showers. As we head over onto Prince Edward Island, we're going to continue to see that rain around 8 degrees for the island. As we head into Cape Breton, a mix of rain and snow. And then as we head east, we are going to see that rain continuing. That's going to hang around through central parts of Nova Scotia as well before we see a little bit of a warm up and some of that sunshine popping through for western parts of Nova Scotia. Over into Newfoundland and Labrador, we are going to see that sun shining for Labrador City as well as Happy Valley Goose Bay. Cooler temperatures up in Nain, and then we'll see those cold temperatures once again hanging around for most of Newfoundland. Some scattered showers again are going to be hanging around for that. A little bit more of on the drizzle side than a heavy falling rain for Newfoundland. But time now to check in with our partner, Mira Estrada and Latavia.
Summer beauty always sounds so effortless in theory. Glowing skin, beachy hair, no makeup, but in reality, heat, humidity, sunscreen, sweat, travel, it can be a lot. So today we're talking summer beauty must-haves that simplify your routine while keeping skin and hair healthy, hydrated, and fresh looking all season long. Joining us this morning to share her suggestions is our beauty contributor and partner, Mira Estrada. Welcome back, Mira.
Thank you. Good morning. So like you said, there's a lot going on in summer. I mean, hopefully summer gets here soon. But the one S, besides the sweat, the sunshine, all of that, I'm going to simplify this for you.
Yay, I love to hear it. Okay, so we're going to start off with skincare, I believe. What are you changing up for the warmer months ahead?
Yeah, so like I said, simplifying. First of all, I love my Korean beauty, but it doesn't have to be complicated like we think. So from Haniel here, I have their Yuja Brightening 2-in-1 Mask to Foam Cleanser. And so like it's 2 products in one. It's both your cleanser to take off that makeup and the SPF, or you could use it as a mask. You just leave it on for a few minutes. Can you see it almost has this jam-like texture? And that's the Yuja. It's a fruit that is so high in citrus. It is amazing for the skin. The product also has vitamin C, niacinamide, so you get that glow up. Again, if you want to use it as a mask, 2 minutes, and your skin just feels so much more radiant, so much more dewy. And then the toner pads. I've fallen in love with these because they're actually pre-soaked and they come in a crescent shape. So just super easy to use. It has that little tweezer thingamabobby there, and you just take them out. They feel so good. The crescent shape fits. You almost can't even see them. 5 minutes on and your skin will feel amazing. And this is great. Say, for example, you're having a summer travel day or just one of those long days out in the sun. It feels amazing, amazing, amazing.
Ooh, I got to check them out. Okay, now we're going to talk about SPF. So what are you wearing as the weather gets warmer? I know as women of color, sometimes it can be hard to find a good SPF with no cast.
Right? Preach. Oh my God, that white cast. And so a lot of women, like SPF is a non-negotiable, but a lot of women complain that they don't like how it feels under their makeup. And so we have our Neutrogena. The name says it's the Ultra Sheer Invisible Gel Face Sunscreen SPF 40. And it's literally like a gel finish. So there is no white cast. It's like a really lightweight texture. And because of that gel, it almost works like this matte primer underneath your makeup. So it actually works really, really well with makeup. Like you said, for us melanin-rich skin girls, there is no white cast because it's actually this clear gel. The one thing I want to point out, I don't know if you saw in the video, I had 2 fingers pointed out. Most people do not wear enough sunscreen. And you want literally enough sunscreen on both that finger leg, which is more than you'd think. And that's the amount you need for your face and neck. And I love that this lasts 80 minutes and you can reapply it, and it's great for all skin types.
Amazing. Okay, so when it comes to hair care, what do you recommend?
Yeah, so when it's summer, I don't know, sometimes we feel like our hair is frizzy, and that's actually not the case. Sometimes our hair is just damaged. And again, because of that humidity, because of that sweat, all of those things. I think really, instead of coating our hair, we want to really treat it from the inside out. And so Monat has this Bond IQ system. It's a whole, you have a shampoo, a conditioner, a leave-in, as well as a day and night serum. And what is great about this, it has the peptides, it has the lupin protein, it has their Rejuvenique oil, which is amazing. And again, for the summer, one tip I would say, I know we like to focus on our shampoo to cleanse our hair. Really, really use that leave-in cream because it makes such a difference. Again, we want to take care of that damage because that actually shows up more as frizzy when it's really just damaged hair.
Absolutely agree with you there. And before we go quickly, I know you have a makeup product that you wanted to share with us. Tell us more.
Of course. You know, I love shouting out Canadian brands. This is Wonder Blush. And what I love about this, summer creamy formulas are amazing. They just melt into the skin instead of sitting on top of it. Like you can see there, it is so sheer. We don't want to go so heavy in the summer, right? So I just love that beautiful sheer finish. Again, upwards from the higher than you'd think, from the cheekbones upwards to give yourself that lifted look. And again, creams work really, really well in the summer and great for mature skin as well. I'm in my late 40s, so I love me a good cream blush.
And supporting local is also fabulous. Thank you so much, Mira, for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
And that was our partner, beauty contributor, Mira Estrada. Now we're going to throw things over to Amanda for health and medical news.
Thank you, ladies. Iron deficiency affects more than 10% of the population here in Canada. And while iron supplements have typically been hard to take, newer treatments are now available. CTV's Pauline Chan has more in your health.
Francine Joseph says she was always tired and cold.
Anyone who knows me knows that I have a scarf around me in the office or even walking, even in summertime. So that was one of the symptoms as well.
But then after the birth of her daughter and 2 separate car accidents, her symptoms intensified in 2017.
I was getting constant migraines, feeling super dehydrated, super weak. So my doctor, she ordered me more tests. And then at that point, we realized it's actually iron deficient.
Iron deficiency is one of the most common causes of anemia. And certainly as a primary care physician, is something I deal with multiple times a day. Females who menstruate are typically, struggling with anemia.
In fact, 40% of menstruating women suffer from low iron, and it's not just women.
Crohn's and colitis, dietary changes, there's a whole slew of other medical conditions that can cause your iron to be low.
Dr. Christine Palme says low iron can cause fatigue, memory, and concentration problems.
Long-term consequences are cardiovascular complications. You can develop skin changes, nail changes, hair loss, things like that. So much more common than one would think, and certainly something that as primary care we often miss.
Adding iron-rich foods to your diet is a first step.
Step 2 is pharmacological treatment, and there's many things that are available over the counter, and in some cases they work, but they also come with side effects. Many patients can't tolerate the gastrointestinal side effects related to the medications.
But Francine is on a new medication. Acrufer is the only oral iron therapy prescription approved in Canada. She takes that twice a day, and 4 times a year she goes in for iron transfusions. Dr. Palme calls Acrufer a game changer for patients who had severe side effects before.
Point being, patients have a wide variety of options, and just because one fails, go back, try another one.
And for Francine, it's allowing her to enjoy life like never before. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones today. It's a 65th anniversary for Nathan and Doris Burke of Sleuth Point, Nova Scotia. Happy anniversary.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Then now, thank you for those photos, and happy anniversary to Ernest and Gloria Miller, 68 years married today from Tidnish, Nova Scotia. Congratulations, you two.
We love it. It's also a 102nd birthday for Betty Clark. Happy birthday, Betty.
Wow, Betty, 102 years. That's a lot of candles on the birthday cake. Congratulations. Now, to see your milestone again or find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And reminder that milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance.
As we take a look here at our 3-day forecast, we can see that some scattered showers are hanging around for New Brunswick for today. A high of 10, so much colder than what we're used to seeing at this time of year. Into Saturday, mostly cloudy conditions, a few scattered showers throughout the course of the morning, a high of 11. And then into Sunday, mostly sunny skies and a high of 14. Heading over to Nova Scotia, that rain continuing as well. We are mostly seeing that in central and eastern parts of Nova Scotia, as well as into Cape Breton. Mostly a mix of sun and cloud for western parts of Nova Scotia, but cooler conditions. A little bit warmer again where that sun is shining. As we head into Saturday, we are going to continue to see some scattered showers throughout the course of the day. A high of 10 degrees. And into Sunday, mostly cloudy conditions, but we will see some showers again sneaking into the province a little bit in the morning and then again later into the afternoon and evening. Over on Prince Edward Island, cooler conditions prevail. We are seeing that rain coming through for the majority of today. Into Saturday, we will see a high of 7 degrees. So again, a cooler weekend ahead of us. We are going to have some sunshine coming through, though, mostly cloudy conditions. Into Sunday, we start to see a little bit more of a warm up. Again, much colder than what we're used to seeing at this time of year, but at least that sun will be shining. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
It's Friday, May 29th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, there's some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices decreased quite a bit overnight. We'll tell you by how much and what you'll pay just ahead in your news headlines.
And calling all green thumbs, we share this week's edition of the Garden Guide just in time for the weekend. We'll get growing in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Happy Friday. Glad you could start the day with us. We have Brianne in for Latavia this morning on this cold morning. And I want to bring you back to the Move Morning Chat. We're being fun. We're talking about things that your partner likes to talk a lot about. And you try and you try, but you have no interest in. So I was saying for me, for my husband, is when he talks about professional cycling, my eyes glaze over. But when I asked him, I said, what's something I talk about? You just totally tune out. And he says thrift shopping.
Oh, I could talk about that all day long.
It's funny. I forgot what event we were at, but I was talking to your husband about cycling because I love the Tour de France.
Really?
Oh, gosh. Oh, bless your heart for talking to him about it. I was saying I know all the names, and I just don't know about them, even though he's told me.
Yeah. I do
stick.
Like, I actually started my career as a sports anchor, so I used to be really have my finger on the pulse. It was a lot of work for me because it doesn't come naturally.
Yes.
But I do remember the cool thing about the Tour de France is the yellow jersey.
Yes.
So if you lead that day, I believe, you get the yellow jersey.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, how do they,
and there's the
like,
polka dot jersey.
Is it really sweaty? And they're like, no,
King
Crystal,
of
they
the
just give you
mountain.
a new yellow jersey.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to use the same.
It's not the same one.
I thought, oh my gosh, it must be
the different
reeking
person
with
every
sweat
day.
by the end of the tour.
No, if you've earned your yellow jersey, you get to keep your yellow jersey.
I love
you just
that.
can't wear it the next day if you haven't earned it again.
Love that.
My guy Froome,
gosh.
when I really got into it, kept winning the yellow jersey for Team Sky.
Who was
Anyways,
it?
Froome.
Oh, Froome.
So, okay,
Michael Froome, right? Michael Froome?
Michael Froome? I don't know, Mr. Froome?
Yeah.
Mr. Froome?
And then he'll say, oh gosh, which ones have switched teams and was Team Sky but is now Team... I don't know.
See, here's my thing. You find that one thing you
Patty
can cling
Bagacha.
to. And for me, it's this yellow jersey. This is going to get me through. So quick question. Does Froome get like a new yellow jersey every time he's leading, or does he have to keep the same one?
I think he gets a new one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that information.
Mike could tell you.
Yeah, because they have them ready for the next guy.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, it is now 8:02. And look what's happening in the nest. Oh my gosh, are those flurries?
Oh,
Yep.
boy.
They sure are.
Bruce or Suji not happy?
It's a mix of flurries and rain in Cape Breton.
The look on Bruce or Suji's face speaks for us all.
Straight facts. Not impressed. I feel you on that one. I would not want to be in that nest right now either if I was them. As we take a look here at our temperatures, though, we are seeing, like I said, colder temperatures. Only 1 degree right now in Sydney, 5 degrees over in Charlottetown, a little bit warmer in Fredericton and Yarmouth. But again, those colder conditions to start the day. And you saw a little bit of that mixed precipitation heading through parts of Cape Breton, and that's pretty much going to be the name of the game for today, this Friday. This last Friday of May definitely does not feel like a Friday in May, that's for sure. As we take a look here at the current winds, we're seeing mostly sustained winds around that 20 kilometer per hour mark. We are seeing a little bit of an increase in gusting winds in the Canso as well as Sydney areas, as you can see along that coastline as well in Nova Scotia. So again, we are going to see a little bit of an increase in gusting winds as we head throughout the day around that 40 kilometer per hour mark, but nothing too major. It's just the rain and the wetness that's really going to impact into today and the cooler temperatures. But I'll have a full look at that forecast coming up in just a bit. For now, let's head over to Amanda for a look at news.
And we begin with some relief for the wallet at pumps as gas prices and diesel prices, they decreased for the most part overnight. In the Halifax area, Nova Scotia, gas fell by 7.2 cents. The minimum price, $1.78.4. Diesel dropped by 12.1 cents. The minimum price, $2.06. In PEI, gas fell for a third time this week, now by 6.4 cents. The minimum price, $1.85 a liter. And diesel decreased by 6.4 cents, the minimum price $2.19.5. Now to the only increase this morning. Gas in New Brunswick, it's up by 1.6 cents. The maximum price, $1.87.6. This comes after a decrease yesterday. Diesel, it did fall in New Brunswick by 2.3 cents. The maximum price, $2.23.8 a liter. Meantime, Nova Scotians will be paying more at the pumps, but it has nothing to do with the war in Iran. The Energy Board has approved a 1.7 cent a liter increase to both gas and diesel to give retailers more revenue. Turns out more motorists are using credit cards to fill their tanks, which means higher fees for the gas stations. They will now get a minimum 7.1 cents per liter to pocket. New Brunswick's energy regulator has approved a Crown Corporation's application for a 500-megawatt natural gas plant. NB Power says it needs the project to meet a sharp increase in power demand by 2028. The corporation has a 25-year contract with Missouri-based Pro Energy to set up 10 natural gas turbines in a rural area in the province's southeast. NB Power says the proposed plant will help serve as a backstop when weather-dependent renewable sources are not available. The mother of the newborn baby, whose body was discovered in Halifax Sunday, has herself died in hospital. Her death and her baby's are both being investigated by the medical examiner.
They will determine the manner and cause of death. However, both of those investigations will take an extended period of time.
Police admit they were never able to speak to the 23-year-old woman who died in hospital Wednesday after being taken in by paramedics Friday night in what police called life-threatening condition, not connected to violence. An urgent search for the newborn began when the woman showed up at hospital with no baby to be found. The baby's remains were found in the woods off Old Coach Road on Sunday. 2 people charged in the case have agreed to return to court in June to enter pleas on 4 charges, including concealing the body of a child and causing indignity to human remains. Nova Scotia's medical examiner has ruled a suspicious death in Antigonish County as a homicide. RCMP located the deceased 42-year-old man on Arthur's Point Lane in West Armtracady last week. Investigators believe this was a targeted incident and there's no risk to public safety. No arrests have yet been made. A dangerous offender who went to prison in 2011 for kidnapping, confining, and sexually assaulting a woman in Moncton has been granted release from prison. 15 years ago, Romeo Cormier was convicted of kidnapping a woman and holding her in his apartment for nearly a month until she escaped. The woman, whose identity was protected by a publication ban, testified Cormier grabbed her at knife point in February 2010 outside the former Highfield Square Mall where she worked.
I really feel that Mom is a really strong person, and her attitude was that she wasn't going to let Romeo Cormier continue making her a victim.
Parole Board of Canada documents state the case was reviewed on May 12th. Now 78 years old, Cormier was granted statutory release with special conditions, including not having any contact with the victim or members of her family. Finally, this week marks the 25th anniversary of a big event in Maritime hockey history. So a quarter century ago, May 28th, 2001, the St. John Flames won the Calder Cup. They took the final series 4-2 with a 1-0 win in Game 6 at a sold-out Harbour Station. The Flames became the 4th and final Maritime franchise to win the AHL championship. And if you want to go back down memory lane, you can find more on this story, the full video, in the Video Vault section of our website. I love to go to the Video Vault section.
That's very fun. Look at you with your back in the days.
Back in the day. I know.
This
it is
day,
wild.
years ago.
This day in history. Courtesy of one of our producers, Leo Carter.
Yes.
He is our historian here.
I love those old footages. Okay, guess what? This is it, everybody. Oh, the very last time that we're going to have an opportunity for you to win this contest. This is it. Last reminder. 1 chance to win per day, and this is your last reminder. If you haven't entered, why don't you do it right now? If you want to win $20,000 where Your Morning Atlantic could pay your bills, then enter at this very moment. Simply go to our contest page at ctvatlantic.ca or scan the QR code you'll see in just a moment, along with today's code word, which is SAVE. Enter now. You could win $20,000, and you'll find out if you're the winner next week on our show.
You have to enter because we're not allowed.
We're not allowed.
So it's up to you to save.
We'd love to. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait till we get to announce the winner. And I'm sure that it's a digital transfer of funds, but I'd really love to personally deliver the big bag of money.
Oh, or like the check, the giant check.
The novelty check, yes.
I love the novelty check. It's my favorite part.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. Just, you know, and you can have it rain money too.
Oh yeah, we get that. They have a money raining machine. Yeah.
Just make sure it's not coins.
Great point. Oh my goodness. Pennies from heaven, though, that would be fun. Yeah. Although we're not getting pennies from heaven today, we're getting some snow in certain parts of our region.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is. If you haven't noticed, we're not impressed with the cold
and
today.
like a lamb, so it has to go out like a lion.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like March.
That's March.
It is feeling like March.
It's May,
it's
people.
The end of May. It's gonna be June 1st on Monday.
It's a month.
Like summer's in less than 3 weeks.
The solstice.
Yeah, things can change very quickly, though. You know they can change very, very quickly.
Yeah, Brianne was talking about some fog in eastern parts of PEI. Here's a live look at White Sands, Prince Edward Island. At least the grass is quite green
It's
right
so
now.
green and lush right now. Everything is really beautiful, actually.
We'll take what we can get. The full forecast for today and the weekend with Brianne is coming up next. Please stay with us.
Good morning, Halifax. 8:13, 8:43 if you're in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And we can see here at the Armdale Roundabout, things are picking up a little bit traffic-wise, although we are seeing some cloudier conditions to start the day. And we will see some rain continuing to fall. I know that's not necessarily you want to hear, but we do need it for the green grass to grow after all. As we take a look here at our current temperatures, cooler start to the day, well below seasonal for this time of year, and that's pretty much the name of the game across the board for Atlantic Canada. For today, we're seeing those colder temperatures hanging around in Cape Breton, where we will see a little bit of mixed precipitation. So you see that pink on the map, that means we are seeing a mix of rain and snow, and we could see an accumulation of snow, especially in the highlands in Cape Breton. So something to take into consideration for the rest of the region. We are seeing some scattered showers through New Brunswick. The majority of the rainfall, though, hanging around throughout eastern parts of Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, as well as Prince Edward Island, and pushing into Newfoundland as we head a little bit later into the day. So again, those scattered showers pretty much hanging around for most of New Brunswick. We will see, again, that continuous rain throughout the evening and into the early hours of tonight before the system starts to clear itself out of our region. We'll see a mix of sun and cloud for most of New Brunswick for Saturday. We will have to deal with a few more scattered showers, especially in eastern parts of Nova Scotia for Saturday. Now taking a look at our accumulation of rain, like I said, just trace amounts because it's pretty much scattered for most of New Brunswick as well as western parts of Nova Scotia into Cape Breton as well as eastern Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. Again, that's where we'll see the most accumulation of snow over into parts of Newfoundland as well. Now taking a look at our forecast for today, temperatures ranging between 16 and 9, so pretty drastic, but still well below seasonal for this time of year. We're usually around that 21-degree mark in New Brunswick. So again, a little bit cooler day today. As we head on to Prince Edward Island, ranging from 7 to 8 degrees, and again, that rain is going to be hanging around for the majority of today. Over into Cape Breton and eastern parts of Nova Scotia, you are continuing to see that rain coming through. Again, a little bit of that mixed precipitation in Shetty Camp and Sydney. That's where we'll see a little bit of an accumulation of snow. That rain's turning into snow because of those colder conditions, of course. And then as we head into western parts of Nova Scotia, temperatures ranging between 16 and 9, again, below seasonal for this time of year. We'll see some of those scattered showers, again, hanging around through central parts of Nova Scotia. Over into Newfoundland and Labrador City, of course, some sun is coming through. We are seeing those colder conditions and a little bit of that rain hanging around in Nain. And then as we head into Newfoundland, we're seeing those colder temperatures again hanging around and mostly drizzle. So although there is going to be a little bit of that accumulation of rainfall over in the St. John's area around the coastline, the majority of the rain coming through for Newfoundland is going to be drizzle. Now time to check in with Amanda for a look at international and national news.
Thank you, Brianne. The hockey world is grieving the sudden death of former NHL star Claude Lemieux. Authorities in Florida believe he took his own life. The former Montreal Canadian was honored at the Bell Centre just a few days ago. CTV's Kelly Gregg has more on the unexpected loss of a legend and the legacy he leaves behind.
It was clutch goals and grit that defined Claude Lemieux's 14-year NHL career. The news of his death at 60 years old coming as a shock, especially since Lemieux was a torchbearer at the Habs game days ago.
For 5-10 minutes there, I was just trying to find out if it was true. I was happy to see him on Monday, just to kind of talk about a little bit what he was doing. He was there with his two sons, so it's a big shock.
I was really happy to see him at the Bell Centre earlier this week. Glad to see the welcome he got from the crowd at the Bell Centre, and I hope that brought him peace.
From Buckingham, Quebec, Lemieux raised the Stanley Cup for the first time in 1986 as a rookie. He would do it again 3 more times, adding a Conn Smythe as playoff MVP to his resume in 1995. But it was tough play that was his hallmark, that sometimes went too far. During a fight, Lemieux infamously bit the finger of a rival, claiming afterwards he might have chipped his tooth during the scrum.
We tangled. We said a lot of bad words to each other that I will not repeat today, but it was funny, and he was probably one of the wittiest guy. He would come back with a line that you thought you had him, but he would come back with a line that would destroy you.
But there was also a softer side. When Joël Bouchard joined the Phoenix Coyotes in 2000, Lemieux invited the younger player to live with him.
It's so sad to lose somebody that was so authentic. He was just a solid person that you could have a lot of conversation with about any topic. It's way too soon and way too early to lose somebody like that.
Despite playing for 6 teams, Lemieux held a soft spot for the Canadiens. Serge Savard was the GM of that 1986 team, but also the one who traded Lemieux to New Jersey. They spoke just a few weeks ago to organize a reunion.
To my surprise, when I talked to him, he was very happy to come. He mentioned he was the highlight of his career, and he was so proud.
Lemieux leaves behind his wife, 4 children, and a city stunned by the sudden loss. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
To other news now, Canada, the U.S. and Mexico are aligning on border precautions for people traveling from Ebola-hit regions of Africa.
Canada still remains low risk, but we are taking all the precautionary measures.
The changes come as the 3 North American nations get set to host the World Cup. Canada has already suspended entry for residents from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, and South Sudan, despite the World Health Organization's recommendation against travel restrictions. Nearly 3,000 federal public servants have been approved for an early retirement package. A few weeks back, Ottawa launched the Early Retirement Incentive Program as part of its plan to trim the size of the public service by 2029. Under the program, eligible public servants can apply to retire early with no penalty. The Treasury Board of Canada says nearly 6,800 public servants have applied, though just under 2,800 packages have been certified so far. Another break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have the Friday edition of The Garden Guide. That's on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Garden Guide is brought to you by Halifax Seed, growing for 160 years.
Welcome back to CTV News at 5. We're here at Halifax Seed with Emily Trigano. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Today we are talking about perennials.
Perennials are so great. Having a perennial garden, it's low maintenance. The plants come back year after year. You don't have to do a whole lot. So the biggest part about perennial gardens is planning. So you want to make sure you've designed your perennial garden with heights, textures, bloom times, and most importantly, you want to match the plants to the environmental conditions you have.
Ooh, okay, so for example?
So if you have a really shady area, don't go plant something like a succulent-based plant that is going to want full sun and dry soil.
Right.
So you want to make sure you're able to pair the plant to the environmental conditions and also the space that this plant is going to take. So many perennials can die back in the fall, and then they're going to come back again in the spring. They're going to come back bigger. So you want a sense of how large the plant is going to be, when it's going to bloom. So if you want to time some of your annuals and a certain color of annuals to when, you know, something like a coneflower is going to bloom, you want to make sure you have that timing right.
Yeah, so timing really is everything.
Absolutely.
And if you want something blooming at all times, you might want to pick something that blooms in July and then something else that blooms in August and so on and so on. Yeah.
Absolutely. But, you know, perennials are so great because you can get so many shapes, sizes, colors, and textures creating a perennial garden is easy.
So you got a few out here and some behind us, and they really do come in all shapes and sizes.
Absolutely. So when you're looking at your space, you can really gauge, what do I want here? If there's something right in the back, go with the tree. Go with something that maybe it will be a blooming tree. So, you know, maybe you want to look at a magnolia or a lilac or maybe a standard hydrangea. If you need something a little bit smaller and you want color first thing in the spring, these azaleas behind us are absolutely
Beautiful.
stunning. So all kinds of really great plants you can incorporate into your property and into your yard that will keep it beautiful all year.
But you do need to feed it a little bit, hey? Yeah.
Always recommend, especially in the spring, right? I feel like a broken record here, but after the winter, all the nutrients leach out. Always make sure you're adding some nutrients back in. So a good all-purpose organic fertilizer will help keep that organic matter going.
Always great advice. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
See you then.
Ooh, beautiful jungle of plants at Halifax Seed right now.
I know. So fun.
All right, well, it's time to announce the winner of our Kent Big Bucket giveaway for May, and a reminder that this month's prize is perfect for this time of year. It's a $1,500 gift certificate for Era Home patio furniture, and this furniture is fantastic, very good quality, comfortable, lots of pieces to choose from at Kent right now. So let's take a look at who the winner is. It is
The 3-day forecast.
It is.
Just kidding.
There we go.
It is Alan Robichaud of Doketown, New Brunswick. Congratulations, Alan.
Alan will literally be sitting pretty because
literally.
he's got this amazing $1,500. We love that. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, Alan, for your patience as we had a little tech issue, but there we go. He's getting his moment now.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we're looking at his forecast for the weekend, well, you know, get that patio furniture out for Sunday because it's going to be a nicer day on Sunday. Of course, still contending with some scattered showers for today and into the early hours of Saturday, but we are going to see that sun shining on Sunday. Now, over in Nova Scotia, we are continuing to see some of that rainfall, especially in eastern parts of the province and Cape Breton. Western Nova Scotia, a little bit warmer and a little bit less wet. As we head into Saturday, those scattered showers continuing. However, we are seeing an increase in temperature, and then into Sunday, we'll see some of that sunshine popping through, though we will have some scattered showers coming back into the region a little bit later into the evening. Now, over on Prince Edward Island, cooler temperatures, a little bit of those scattered showers for today as well. Into Saturday, we'll see that sun starting to poke through, and then on Sunday, mostly sunny conditions. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Still ahead, the countdown is on. FIFA World Cup kicks off June 11th, and the country is waiting to see who will represent Canada on the world stage. We check in with TSN soccer insider, who has been down at training camp in the warmer weather to see who he thinks will make the cut. We'll hear from him in 15 minutes here on the Friday edition of Your Morning Atlantic. Good morning, Atlantic Canada, 8:31, 9:01 if you're in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And yes, Amanda mentioned much warmer weather down in North Carolina.
Heather. Wow, imagine playing soccer down there.
Yeah. Matt Shinetti, he got a little bit of sun the other day, so you saw a little bit of sunshine on his face. So
what was that like?
I don't know. I haven't seen the sun. Where's the sun?
But you know, if you recall Monday, just days ago, it was glorious.
That is true.
I know.
Just glorious. It could turn quickly to nice in a second.
Don't like the weather? Just wait 5 minutes.
Just wait 5 minutes. Yeah, no, it looks like you have to wait maybe a couple days in this case.
Yeah, a little bit. The colder temperature, we just saw our friend George walk in with a toque.
Yeah.
So
bumper to bumper, the avenue's packed.
Yeah, it's a little bit colder than what we'd like for the end of May. The last Friday in May, maybe not what we wanted to see temperature-wise as we take a look here. 5 degrees in Halifax, 0 in Sydney, 6 degrees in St. John and Moncton, 4 degrees over in Happy Valley, Goose Bay and Cartwright, 2 degrees in St. John. So yeah, a colder start to the new month, basically, is what we're going to continue to see throughout the region. As we take a look here at our winds, our current winds right now, we are seeing those sustained winds around 30 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg and St. John. 37 in Canso, 26 in Sydney. We do have some gusting winds, though, so those winds gust up to 50 in Canso. We are pretty much seeing that as a norm as we head throughout the day. So sustained winds at 20 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 40. Of course, I'll have a full look at that final forecast coming up in just a bit. But for now, let's head over to Amanda for your last look at local news headlines.
Thanks, Brianne. And if you're just tuning in, there is some relief at the pumps as gas and diesel prices decreased overnight for most. Here's a look at the numbers in Nova Scotia Zone 1, the Halifax area. Gas fell by 7.2 cents. The minimum price now $1.78.4 a litre. And diesel dropped by 12.1 cents. The minimum price now closer to the $2 mark. It's sitting at $2.06. In Prince Edward Island, gas fell for a third time this week, this time by 6.4 cents. The minimum price now $1.85 a litre. And diesel on the island decreased by 6.4 cents. The minimum price $2.19.5. This is the only increase we're seeing this morning. Gas in New Brunswick, it is up. It increased by 1.6 cents overnight. The maximum price now $1.87.6. And diesel in New Brunswick, it fell by 2.3 cents. The maximum price $2.23.8 a litre. While we are seeing a bit of relief at the pumps, experts say it will be short-lived.
Considering the world is short about 20% of what it needs to make ends meet, and we're using emergency supplies just to finish the day and to make sure economies run well, we're looking at a scenario where it's going to require much higher prices to, as it were, dampen demand in order for supply to catch up.
Dan McTeague predicts the pump prices will push back towards the $2 mark as early as next week. That's for gas. The mother of the newborn baby whose body was discovered in Halifax Sunday has herself died in hospital. Her death and her baby's are both being investigated by the medical examiner.
They will determine the manner and cause of death. However, both of those investigations will take an extended period of time.
Police admit they were never able to speak with the 23-year-old woman who died in hospital Wednesday after being taken in by paramedics Friday night in what police called life-threatening condition not connected to violence. An urgent search for the newborn began when the woman showed up at hospital with no baby to be found. The baby's remains were found in the woods off Old Coach Road on Sunday. 2 people charged in the case have agreed to return to court next month to enter pleas on 4 charges that include concealing the body of a child and causing indignity to human remains. In New Brunswick, a dangerous offender who went to prison in 2011 for kidnapping, confining, and sexually assaulting a woman in Moncton has been granted release from prison. 15 years ago, Romeo Cormier was convicted of kidnapping a woman and holding her in his apartment for nearly a month until she escaped. The woman, whose identity was protected by a publication ban, testified Cormier grabbed her at knife point in February 2010 outside the former Highfield Square Mall where she worked.
I really feel that Mom is a really strong person, and her attitude was that she wasn't going to let Romeo Cormier continue making her a victim.
Parole Board of Canada documents state the case was reviewed earlier this month. Now 78 years old, Cormier was granted statutory release with several special conditions, including not having any contact with the victim or members of her family. It looks like it's back to square one in that ongoing long-term care strike in Nova Scotia. As we told you here yesterday, scheduled talks broke off less than 4 hours after they started. The lack of progress is deeply worrisome to those with loved ones in those facilities. CTV News reached out to Minister Barbara Adams' office for comment, but did not hear back by news time. The government has repeatedly pushed the union to present its offer to membership for a vote. Finally, let's keep the cute baby animals coming, this time with the queen of the jungle. Take a look at this little cutie. The Pittsburgh Zoo is celebrating the birth of this new female African lion cub. So she was born April 5th to 9-year-old parents, Scarlett and Hondo. So she's almost 2 months old. The cub is currently in a maternity den with her mom, and she's expected to make her public debut in late summer.
Well, she's already a supermodel.
Isn't
so
she cute? Look at the chin right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and the pitter-patter of lion paws, it comes less than a year since Hondo arrived in Pittsburgh. The dad, with the hope of a successful breeding, looks like it worked.
Guess so.
This is the first cub for both her parents.
Congratulations to the happy family. This particular shot, oh my gosh.
Whoever that photographer is, chef's kiss.
Wonderful stuff.
I know. I wonder, Pittsburgh, I mean, maybe Sidney Crosby will go visit.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to Pittsburgh.
I love Pittsburgh.
Yeah?
475 bridges or something in the city.
Neato.
Yeah.
Well, we had that little cub shot. How about a pup date?
Okay.
From a Canadian
Let's
zoo.
do it.
A little pup date to share. This is a video of the Edmonton Valley Zoo's 3 Arctic new wolf pups.
Oh.
Now, the trio is spending their time outside their den. The zoo announced they're outside in their den, not outside their den. That would not be good. The zoo announced their births last week, and they say they're all doing well. And fun fact about the species, Arctic wolf pups are born blind and completely dependent on their parents.
Oh.
Yeah. So these guys are starting to come out.
Look at that one causing trouble there in the back.
When Maritimers hit the road this summer, their first stop should be Needs Fast Fuel to help fuel your adventures. Symphony New Brunswick closes out the season with Life Circles in Moncton. Oh, we're going right into community calendar. Sorry, there was no break in that.
That's okay. It's part of the Needs Fast Fuel plan. You can drive.
No breath.
We just need to get to the Capitol Theater fast.
Fast, like Needs. Of course, you can listen to the wonderful collection of Elgar's Enigma variations in the Capitol Theater Monday, June 1st at 7:30 p.m. To secure your tickets, head to their site. And the U15 PEI boys basketball team will be hosting a fundraiser in Charlottetown. That's on Monday, June 1st from 3 till 8. Go out and enjoy the Cavendish Fry Truck. Ooh. Count me in, at the Royalty Crossing, with proceeds helping to support their trip to nationals.
Nice.
And then, of course, in Nova Scotia, a turkey supper will be held in the Beaver Bank this weekend on Saturday, May 30th from 4 to 6 p.m. Head to 28 Trinity Lane to enjoy a delicious meal and learn more. To learn more, of course, order or call this number on your screen.
Explore the Maritimes this summer. Brought to you by Needs and Fast Fuel. There for all your on-the-go snacking needs.
CTV, in partnership with Needs Convenience and Fast Fuel, wants to help you fuel up for fun. With more than 140 stores and gas bars throughout Atlantic Canada, Needs is your headquarters for coffee, slushies, snacks, meals on the go, car washes, and fuel. One lucky winner will receive a $200 gift card to be used at any Needs or Fast Fuel location. Adventure awaits. Don't miss out on your chance to fuel up for fun. To enter, head to ctvatlantic.ca. And as always, good luck.
We're just handing out the prizes and the winnings on this Friday.
Oh, also, the turkey supper tomorrow sounds good because it's nice and cold.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was also thinking the fried truck, the Cavendish fried truck.
Yeah, lots of great choices there for the weekend.
We're always hungry on this show.
Or just go to Needs and we'll grab something right after the show.
There we go.
Yum.
All right, another break still ahead. The forecast, and we'll look ahead to the World Cup and a conversation with TSN around what's in store for Team Canada. That's on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come.
Good morning, Lockport. Just cusping on 8:45, 9:15 if you're in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And of course, always a beautiful start to the day. Looking gorgeous, but maybe a little bit cool if you were trying to get into that water today. We are seeing that sun start to break through, which is a great, nice thing to see. We are going to have some more rain coming through the forecast in parts of Nova Scotia and into Prince Edward Island. But for the most part in New Brunswick, we will see some more sun shining through as well. Taking a look here at our current temperatures, again, a colder start start to the day, and I was talking a little bit about that system that's coming through. We are going to see some scattered showers hanging in the western parts of New Brunswick and up in northern parts, and the majority of eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland are going to be seeing some showers for today as well. We are going to have a little bit of that mixed precipitation hanging around through parts of Cape Breton, so a little bit of snow rain mix as we head into the evening on Friday. That system will start to push out, and into Saturday we will see mostly a mix of sun and cloud, mostly cloudy conditions to start the day before we see some of that sun coming through. Now, taking a look at our accumulated rainfall for today, we are seeing, again, the majority of that over in eastern parts of Nova Scotia as well as into Cape Breton, and then, of course, along that coastline over in Newfoundland as well. Taking a look here at our forecast for today, we are ranging from 9 degrees to 16, so a little bit warmer in the Grand Manan area. We are going to continue to see some of those scattered showers coming through, not a whole lot of consistent rain. That consistent rain is staying pretty much on Prince Edward Island and into eastern parts of Nova Scotia, as well as into Cape Breton. Again, that wintry mix coming through as well. As we head into central and western parts of Nova Scotia, we'll see a little bit of a warm up. Again, some of those showers hanging around the Halifax area for today. Over into Newfoundland and Labrador. Nice day in Labrador City, as well as Happy Valley Goose Bay, a little bit extra cloud cover. And then we see temperatures drop drastically, as well as that rain coming through for most of Newfoundland as well. Crystal?
All right, a reminder how you can connect with us. Email us, yourmorningatlantic@ctv.ca, or you can always text by just doing so at 10400. We'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to get your photos and videos as well. And now we'll turn our attention over to Brianne Foley.
Thank you, Crystal. It's an exciting day in the world of soccer. We get one day closer to FIFA World Cup, and tonight we will see who will be suiting up for Canada. So here to give us a look behind the scenes of choosing Team Canada is my friend and TSO's Matthew Shinetti, all the way from North Carolina. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, Brianne. How are you?
A little bit colder than you. You're having some better temperatures than we are.
Yeah, you know what? It is sunny and absolutely humid here, but that's exactly what Jesse Marsch wanted for his team. He's ran them to get them ready for the World Cup. But today, as you said, is a huge day when we will find out the 26 players that will represent Canada at a home World Cup. Incredibly exciting.
It is exciting. So you've been with this group of 32 at training camp. Regardless of who makes the roster tonight, what are your thoughts on this group and how hard they've worked going in?
This is a different team than the Canadian team that went to Qatar 3.5 years ago. That's not to downplay the team that was the first Canadian men's team to get to a World Cup for the first time in 36 years. But there is so much more on the line this time because it's a home World Cup, because the talent on this team is so much deeper, not only in one position, several positions. I know a lot of people will absolutely focus on Alphonso Davies' absence right now. And, of course, Jacob Schaffelberg's injury. He wasn't training for much of this week. But there is now, in every position on this field, Jesse Marsch, and even before him, John Herdman, has put in so many talented players. Not only the Jonathan Davids and the Tejan Buchanans that you might know, and the Stefan Estaquios, but also Moise Bombito. He is an absolute star on this team. And given some of the players that have also started to contribute, Joe Waterman, Mathieu Choinière, Richie Larea, Promise David, some of those guys have been injured after long seasons, but this camp was also about getting these guys up to fitness. It's going to be a hot World Cup. It's not only hot here, it's going to be hot in Toronto. And if the team does advance past the group stage for the first time ever, and they have to go to the United States, it will be very, very hot. So again, Marsch getting his guys up to speed, but also making sure they're going to be fit enough come June 12th.
Absolutely. You said that there's multiple players in multiple positions. Do you have a front runner for keeper?
Ooh, here, the one thing about this thing, and I've been talking to coaches that say Dane St. Clair should be the starting goalkeeper because he was the MLS goalkeeper of the year, and many have been saying Maxime Crépeau should be the starting goalkeeper given everything that he did at Copa America and getting that team to the semifinals. It is going to be tough because here's the thing. This team, they have to pick one, and both of these guys are very, very, very close. You can lean on Max Crépeau in a tournament setting like this, but you can also look at Dane St. Clair, not only because he was the MLS goalkeeper of the year, as I mentioned, but because Jesse Marsch runs his team not just like a national team where they meet every 2 months or so. He runs them like they are a club team. So you get both positives, but they both have been struggling with the teams that they play for, Inter Miami and Orlando City. So it's going to be a tough decision for Jesse Marsch, but he trusts both guys. And ultimately, besides Alphonso Davies, this is the biggest question on this roster.
Absolutely. All right, we have about 10 seconds here, Matt. So how can people tune in tonight and where can they watch?
Well, it'll be 7 o'clock Atlantic, and it'll be on TSN and CTV and Crave. This is going to be an absolutely huge night, not just for Canadian soccer, but for Canadian sport.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Matt. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Take care.
Hey, welcome back. We have a few minutes left of the show as we share the answers to the Move Morning Chat, your text messages from home. We're talking about things that your partner is really passionate about, talks a lot about, and you just can't get into. The theme here is sports and politics.
Okay. Wow.
We're going to break it all down. Let's start with Carla from Cape Breton. Says, my partner loves to talk about European football, soccer.
So she would have hated that one.
You might have just skipped that interview we did, or you did. She says, I think I would rather watch paint dry.
Wow, Carla.
To each your own, right? Bernie from Ross say, this is going to make me sound very un-Canadian, but my wife loves to talk about the sport of curling. I'm not even remotely interested in curling. When she starts talking about it, I just nod and occasionally say either yes or no. And then we have Shelley from Kentville, Donald Trump. When her partner talks about Donald Trump, it's tuning out there.
Tuning that out.
Well, that's fair.
Janet from Sydney, the UFC fight card weigh-ins. OMG, he starts off like it's breaking news that Joe Blow never made weight in his division. Firstly, who? And secondly, I got my own weigh-in issue.
That's a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, I used to have to do the weigh-ins when I was a sports reporter.
Oh. Really?
Right down to their underwear in front of everyone. So bizarre.
Nicole from Truro, golf.
Oh my goodness.
And yet others are like, golf!
Right?
Yeah.
All ears,
To each their own.
Donna from St. John, my boyfriend watches on TV and his iPad anything to do with the stuff going on in this crazy world. He is all informed, gets very concerned, but I, for one, can't get into it. Names of different people around the world. Who, what now?
What now? That's fair.
Yeah, Nicole says, I go blank when my wife mentions anything about math, like taxes, budgets, investments. I swear the words go in one ear and out the other.
Same. I know I'm the same. I'm just not a numbers person.
Exactly.
I should be a numbers person.
I wish I
but
were.
I'm not.
LJ from Middleton, when my partner starts talking about the curse of Oak Island, I nod, but don't really pay attention.
Until they find the big treasure, then you'll
you'll pay attention.
Okay, here is a reminder. It's a busy weekend for a great cause. The IWK Telethon for Children returns, and it's the 42nd year for this wonderful maritime tradition. Now, for us, you can join in for the tribute show May 30th, 7 to 9 p.m. CTV's Katie Kelly and Jonathan Torrance will be hosting.
Yay!
I'm a part of that show. I can't wait. And then May 31st, Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is, of course, the big telethon. Amanda, you're going to be there. This is a wonderful day. Full of inspiring stories, full of the tribute show is East Coast music and
so
inspiring
fun.
stories, and then wonderful inspiring stories on Sunday. And just if you can tune in, not only will be inspired, but if you're in a position to help, you can make a huge difference in the lives of so many people in our region.
Everyone's got a connection to the IWK, and we are so grateful that we have the opportunity to share those stories and bring you this telethon. We can't wait for it. This is the end of our show here on this Friday. We hope you join us Monday. It's packed. A bunch of municipal councils in New Brunswick will be sworn in on Monday. We will speak with St. John Mayor Donna Reardon about what will be this new council's priorities. Plus, Food Banks Canada will release its 2026 poverty report card that looks at how governments are doing when it comes to reducing poverty. We'll get the details on that Monday as well.
It's going to be a great show, and we promise to limit our talk of curling, golf, and other subjects mentioned today. But only on Monday. We can't promise it any other day.
No finance.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.